guys, today we are finishing off a new seeding hayfield. We've got some oats and orchard grass, alfalfa, and clover spread out here. I didn't get down here to get the video of everything getting worked out, but you pretty much know what that looks like. Just running the field cultivator across a previous crop ground, whatever. And so anyway, we got it spread last night. It was getting pretty late, so yesterday was a beautiful day for spreading. It started out kind of mild, but it was a lot better by the time I got down here with the cart and got everything spread. There's pretty much no wind late last night, late yesterday afternoon. So I had thought we were going to just run the drag harrow across this. I kind of forgot that I had this tool, and then I remembered it. I thought, oh yeah, we're gonna run this. It's a nice cultipacker. I'm not using the shanks at all. They're just wired up out of the way, so they don't go down and do any ripping. I don't want my alfalfa more than a quarter-inch deep, so I don't want them down there disturbing it at all. Basically, what we're doing with this is just packing the seed and the topsoil right back down as firmly as we can without disturbing the depth of the seed. So, and if you have any smaller rocks, it'll push them back in the surface. You don't have to worry about launching those a mile an hour, a million mile an hour across the field at somebody's potential window or whatever. You're not chewing up the mower blades. So yeah, this is definitely a better way to go than just a drag harrow, and the drag harrow would work okay, but you have to make sure you get it just, you lay it down as much as possible so the teeth aren't digging in and creating more disturbance there than what you need. Hope you can hear me okay, but this is what it looks like. You can see my tracks from the broadcast and the spreader yesterday. And we had to run, it was a 60-foot spread cart, and oats are very light. They don't fly 60 feet, so what I did was I came through and I ran 30-foot spacings. So it would be over here and over here. And once I got all those done, I came back right dead center and split my tracks again so I could have my halfway mark, basically double spreading on oats. So this is what she looks like, and she's, you can see a few bumps or impressions rather from turning around and stuff and driving through with the cart and the spreader. And after you run this cultipacker through there, it's quite a bit smoother. And here's where we haven't run yet. There's a pass over there that has been packed. Definitely a lot nicer. And there's what she looks like from behind. Nice and smooth. The wheel tracks are just a little bit deeper than what the cultipacker can rub out, but it's not much. I mean, maybe a half inch. They look worse than what they are. They're not near that bad. So. Another thing the cultipacker will do is with those spiked, slightly spiked, they're not really a spike. These are mostly worn off. The wings still have a bit of a spike on them yet, but that will create almost like a little water channel or a rib, so that the water can perforate in just as soon as we get a nice rain. It won't just wash. I mean, if it was a bare roller and we were just rolling a smooth roller across the ground, it would leave it perfectly pan smooth. That works okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think this is a better way to go with those little ribs. You can see it kind of looks like a little drill impression, from dragging a a drill or something across here, but it's definitely not a drill. It doesn't sound. They're only like a half an inch to an inch in spots. The wing ribs are just a little bit longer than the others. They might be inch and a half. Again, that helps to push the seeds right down in the soil better and get better seed to soil contact. But I like the cultipacker with these slightly spiked. I really don't like calling them spiked because they're not spiked, but with these rib rollers. So I like these better than a smooth roller. You can see there she's just awful smooth behind me. Looks really nice. See over here, she's really nice and smooth. I like that. So this farm is new to me. This guy called me, wanted to know about transitioning this ground, and I said, sure, you bet, I'll help you out when I can. So we're not renting this ground, we're just going through and taking care of it for him, which is, you know, just fine and dandy with me. So that's what we're doing. We got her worked out for him a couple days ago, and kind of a headache finding everything that'll work for organic-wise, organic oats, organic alfalfa and grass and so on. It's all got to be organic. And finding a carrier, you know, you can, most places have pell lime that'll work for a carrier. It just depends on what process they use in pelletization of the lime. I haven't run across it, but supposedly some places use some chemical to bond the lime together, and certain processes are not allowed for organic that way. But everything we found and everything here local is all okay. Another thing you can use is gypsum, and I think that's what we used on this farm was the gypsum. So it's all organic wise, you know, usable. So, and it's just a tiny bit cheaper than pell lime. So here you can see the tracks from yesterday that we haven't got wiped out yet. She's perfectly powdery. She's crumbling up nice behind the cultipacker here. She'll be nice and mellow by the time we get done. So to transition ground to organic, you have to have 36 months of no prohibited substances, and whatever that is, you know, whatever was on the ground before, whether it was some kind of non-GMO seed or treated seed or commercial fertilizer, you know, spray, obviously that's not an organic substance. So any of those substances has to be, you know, 36 months from the last time any of that was put on the ground. So in essence, when you're thinking about going into your next crop, if you had nothing on it since the year before last time you sprayed, let's say that was July or something, okay, so July of the previous year, by the time you get around to seeding your hay, or if you're going to do a transition row crop, you know, organic, if you want transition corn or soybeans, you want to go that route, which I prefer not to, but it has to be 36 months from that last application of chemical, like we said, in June. So your first year is obviously not going to work for you, but you've got the next year, you've got 2 years of transitional. You're going to do, like, say, corn, 2 years of transition corn and then transition soybeans, and then your third year you're starting out transition, but at the end of that third year you've passed that 36 months by the time harvest gets there. So that does benefit you just a little bit with that I don't know what you call it, with that window. So your third year you go in and you plant your organic corn or soybeans, whatever you're looking for there, and by the time that harvest gets there, you just passed that that 36-month window, so you can have your organic crop your 3rd year, and that's pretty much all you need for your organic transition. And you still need to find some kind of fertilizer and such throughout the transition years that is organic. Obviously, you can't be out there putting, you know, MAP or potash on, or dry fertilizer or anhydrous. You can't use any of that stuff for your transition years. So you need to start looking. If you're looking to transition some ground, you need to start looking right away at what your fertilizer options are. Because the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest challenge with organic is finding a good manure source, or somewhere that can, you know, if you got a hog barn right across the road, you know, go talk to that guy. There's a lot of outfits that are doing litter, which is either turkey or chicken litter, and you know it's kind of a time thing. You got to use that stuff every year, and by about year 3 or 4, you're really starting to notice the uptick in that stuff. The first couple years, you know, I really haven't noticed much difference in it. Like I said, though, the 3rd and 4th year, you can back off the rate a little bit. Let's say you start out, you know, first 2 or 3 years, you start out putting on 2 ton an acre. So your 3rd and 4th year, you can, 3rd year maybe not, but 4th year for sure, you can back that off maybe 1.5 tons or 1 ton an acre, and you'll notice the benefits of that in 3rd and 4th year. So if you're looking to transition some ground, definitely get out there and find what you can. Personally, I like the hog manure better. It seems like it's a little more usable right away, or you get more of it right away. I've definitely seen a bigger boost on hog manure the first year. You know, definitely better on corn the first year doing hog manure. Anyway, this video seems like it's getting kind of long. I'm just rambling on, so let's get back to it. This cultipacker is a 24-foot kewanee, number 90, and you know, I don't like to lift it up with these wings. The wings don't have tires on them. The wings drag a little bit when you turn, so I guess to compensate for that, I just leave it down, but I try to make a little bigger circle instead of turning right back around. I'm kind of doing like I was with the seeding, doing a skip row. So I'll go, you know, I'll go down through the field, and then I'll turn way over and skip about 1.5 passes or 2 passes, and then just do a big oval like that, filling the oval in as I go around. I like that better than trying to turn right back around, and that way your front tires too, they don't gouge in trying to turn so sharp. She's coming along. She's looking really nice. Now here you can really see the difference where that's smoothed over and this up here is not. You'll see it better before the tree line got in the way. And she is definitely a lot smoother, a lot nicer now. I really like how these things work. I got a little bitty skip right over here that we haven't got yet. Well, here's our last little piece, about 10 acres, and you can see it was previously in row crop production. It was conventional before, obviously. So another thing I forgot to mention, when you're organic and you're looking for fertilizer replacements, you can't use commercial fertilizers. One thing you can do is kind of what we're doing here. You can grow your own fertilizer. You know, the first year on seeding everything down is kind of expensive, but the next 2, 3, 4 years away from seeding it down, you have virtually no input expense. And if you're putting down a clover or alfalfa, then at the end of that 3 or 4 years away, you've got a pretty substantial nitrogen bump there from your legume crop. So one thing else to consider there is you can grow your own fertilizer. It may not be as fun as or typical as what you're used to, is just going out there and putting on manure, but it does work, and It's one really good way to help suppress weeds and keep the soil and the bugs at bay when you're having a different crop in there every couple years. It's not corn or soybeans. You know, you can break that insect and weed cycle down by just seeding it down for a few years. So just thought I'd throw that in there for you guys. Another thing to consider. It's one of the things we're doing this year is not only this farm, but we've got another farm we're seeding down to alfalfa and orchard grass, and means we have cows now. We can certainly utilize a lot of that hay and forage crop we're taking off, and in meantime we're putting nitrogen back in the soil for our next corn crop we're gonna put in there. That's it for this video, guys. Catch you later.